Hello all, I am Devani Patil, Assistant Professor in Arihant College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Camp Pune. In today's lecture, we will discuss about the big data. In last lecture we discussed introductory part of the big data, that is what is a big data, we data types available in the big data, what is computer data and how computer data is converted into the big data. Whenever we are converting or whenever we are storing our data in a computer system, then original data is not processed by the computer. That original data is converted into the another format by the computer, and that is called as a digital data. But in the nowadays in IT sector, digital data is also known as a big data. Basically, big data or digital data means a huge volume of both structured and unstructured data that is difficult to process using traditional database and software technique. So this type of data that is not easily handled with the help of traditional technique. You have to use some big data analytical tools to handle such type of data. This digital data which is stored under the big data category, that is there are so many types of data is available. So which type of data is available in digital data? Data types available in the digital data are structured data, unstructured data. These two types we already discussed in the last video. Then next is the geographic data, real time data, natural language data, time series data, event data, network data, linked data. So these type of data types are available in digital data whenever the data is stored in big data. This complete structure of types of digital data is a mixed structure of data, because not a simple format of data is available in any type. The format of data will be changed in each and any every type. One by one we will discuss these type of data. First one is the structured data. So data stored in rows and columns, mostly numerical, where the meaning of each data item is defined. This type of data constitutes about 10% of today's total data and is accessible through database management system. In the last lecture or in the last video, we discussed the structured data. Structured data is a very fine data. You don't have to work on that data. This is not a raw data. A complete data is a structured data. You can use that data as it is, because the whole data is covered or the whole information is covered in such type of data. Whenever any type of structured data is available on any type of website, then that time only 10% of today's data is included in that database management system, and the remaining data is completely taken from some historical events, that when that particular data is available, how much that data is old. But whatever the data you will get in the structured data, that is very informative. In structured data, you will get a data in only one format. Suppose related to any type of items or related to any type of object, whenever you are searching and you are getting a data that is in a tabular format which is having text only, or it may be a numerical format, or it may be some video clips, or it may be some images. So in structured data, whatever data you are getting or whatever data available in structured format, that is completely uniform data. Example sources of structured or traditional data include official registers, that are created by governmental institutions to store data on individuals, enterprises, and real estates, and sensors in industries that collect data about the processes. So, what we can include in structured data? Some registers available in government offices, in any type of institute, or in any type of organizations. Those registers are in a tabular format. That is, a column name is given at the top of the column, and according to the column name, the data is recorded or information is recorded into the row format. For example, under the column name employee ID, you will get the employee ID of all employers. Under the column name employee name, you will get the name of all employees. Under the column name department of the employee, you will get the available department of that employee which are available in that organization. This is a manual, that is the traditional system. But nowadays sensors are available. For example, biometric system. In the biometric system, suppose you are working in any organization and you are doing your process, completing your process of biometric with the help of thumb expressions. Whenever you will put your thumb on that particular sensor, it will automatically record this particular number's employee ID is present for today. Today, sensor data is one of the fast growing areas, particularly that sensors are installed in plants to monitor movements, temperature, location, light, vibration, pressure, liquid, and flow. So, these sensors will work according to the requirement. Mostly in organizations, they will use for the face recognition or thumb expressions like these, or eye recognition. So in the structured data, whatever data you will get, that is in a particular structure. Now the second is the unstructured data. Data of different forms like text, images, videos, document, etc., that is called as unstructured data. For example, you are putting some keywords on Google like big data. After that, what is a big data? Then Google will give you a link of solutions, or multiple solutions will available on Google. In one solution, or each whatever data you will get, or whatever information you will get about the big data on the Google, that is not in uniform format. On sub websites, they will show you the views like question answers. On some website, they will give you the bookish definition. On some website, they will show you videos. On some website, they will show the documents. So that data related to one object but into the different forms, that data is called as a unstructured data. This type of data accounts for about 90% of the data created in this century. In fact, the volcanic growth of social media, for example Facebook and Twitter, since the middle of the last decade, is responsible for major parts of the unstructured data that we have today. Because nowadays people are uploading their data in a particular format, but in the middle decades the peoples are not well familiar with that. They are putting the data or uploading the data in which format they are right now have with them. Unstructured data cannot be stored using traditional relational databases. Storing data with such a variety and complexity requires the use of adequate storage system, commonly referred to as NoSQL databases like MongoDB, CouchDB, etc. Whenever such type of unstructured data is available with you, you have to put that data under RDBMS, that is the Relational Database Management System. Why we have to put that data under RDBMS? Because whatever data you will get in unstructured data, that is not complete data. You have to put relations between the two data fields, and you have to put some predictions about the third data field. So for that purpose you can use the databases like MongoDB, CouchDB and NoSQL. Third type is the geographic data. Data related to roads, buildings, lakes, addresses, people, workplaces and transportation routes that are generated from geographic information system. For example, you are giving a landmark. You are putting a landmark to give address of your organization. That is a geographic data. For example, you are putting a landmark of any area and the third party person don't know that area. He will go on Google and put that landmark name. Automatically he will get a location on Google Map. These data link between place, time and attributes, that is the descriptive information. Geographic data, which is digital, have huge benefits over traditional data sources such as maps, such as paper maps, written report from explorers and spoken accounts in that digital data are easy to copy, store and transmit. Whenever you are putting geographic data on some, or whenever you are uploading geographic data, that time you should aware about that data. You should first confirm about that geographical locations and then only you have to put that data. More importantly, they are easy to transform, process and analyze. Such data is useful in urban planning and for monitoring environmental effects. A branch of statistics that is involved in spatial or spatiotemporal data is called as a geostatistics data. Whatever data you will get with the geographical areas, that data is called as a geostatistics data. Next is the real-time data. Real-time streaming of live or stored media data. A special characteristics of real-time media is the amount of data being produced, which will be more confusing in the future in terms of storage and processing. Mostly the real-time data is used for the live streaming only, because if that data will get old, it will not be more helpful, or it will not be more helpful useful for you. One of the main sources of media data is services like YouTube, Flickr and Vimeo that produce a huge amount of videos, pictures and audio. Another important source or real-time media is video conferencing or visual collaboration. Suppose you are making a deal with video conferencing, and if you are not putting any record like recording of that particular live streaming, then after completion of the video conferencing you will not get any type of proof about that deal. So real-time media data is for live streaming, it is useful, but when that data become old, that is not much helpful or much useful for you. Next is the natural language data. Human generated data, particularly in the verbal form. Such data differ in terms of level of abstraction and level of editorial quality. The source of natural language data include speech capture devices, land phones, mobile phones and Internet of Things that generate large sizes of text like communication between the devices. In the natural language data, human generated data, it may be a document, it may be a verbal communication, or it may be any type of video that is available. That data is called as the natural language data. The sources of natural language data include speech capture devices, means you can record voice, land phones, landlines are available there, mobile phones, and internet of things like nowadays we are using many type of meeting tools like Zoom, Google Meet, WebEx and all. So whatever data they are creating, that is called as the natural language data. Next is the time series data. A sequence of data points or observations typically consisting of successive measurements made over a time interval. This is called as the time series data. For a particular time duration, that data is useful. The goal is to detect trends and anomalies, identify context and external influences, and compare individual against the group or compare individual at different times. Suppose in a particular season you want to launch your product, then for that particular season only that will be helpful for you. If you are launching umbrellas in summer days, then it will not be helpful to grow your business. So time series data means what? The data that will be that data that will detect the goal of your trends and anomalies, identify contexts and external influences, that in which time period what is helpful for the consumers or what is helpful for the customer, that you have to find out. There are two kinds of time series data: continuous, where we have an observation at every instant of time, and where we have an observation at a spaced interval of time. First one is the continuous, second one is the uncontinuous, that is the irregular or regular, usually regular. In the first continuous, you are putting some time extent. For example, after 1 day, after 10 days, you will get such type of data from the websites. But in the second, you are not putting any time limits, that is the no any time interval is given. You are just observing the consumer's behavior or the customer's behavior or the user's behavior. Example of such data include ocean tides, counts of sunspots, the daily closing value of Dow Jones Industrial Averages, and measuring the level of unemployment each month of the year. So for any, here we are giving just an example of one industry. You can get example of many industries in the time series data. Event data. Data generated from matching between external events with time series. This requires the identification of important events from the unimportant. Example of this event data is: information related to the vehicle crashes or accident can be collected and analyzed to help understand what the vehicles were doing before, during, and after the event. The data in this example is generated by sensors fixed in different places of the vehicle body. Event data consists of three main pieces of information: action, timestamp, and state. Action, which is the event itself; timestamp, the time when this event happened; and state, which describe all other information relevant to this event. Event data is usually described as rich, denormalized, nested, and schemaless. Next data type is network data. Data concern very large networks such as social networks, information networks, and biological networks. In social networks, Facebook, Twitter; information networks, World Wide Web; and biological networks are biochemical, ecological, and neural networks. And fourth one is the technological networks, that is the internet, telephone, and transportation networks. Network data is represented as nodes connected via one or more types of relationship. In social networks, nodes typically represent people. In information networks, node represent data items, for example web pages. In technological networks, nodes may represent internet devices like routers, hubs or telephone switches. In biological networks, nodes may represent neural cell. Much of the interesting work here is on network structure and connections between network node. In the network data, we have to work on network structure, connection, which type of network connection you are using and which type of network nodes you are using. Next data is a linked data. Data that is built upon standard web technologies such as HTTP, RDF, Spark RQL and URI to share information that can be semantically queried by computers. This allows data from different sources to connect it to read. Whenever you are using or whenever you will get data from the internet, that data is a linked data. So in this video we will discuss different types of digital data. Here are some references I am using for this video. Thank you.